You can do it. Walt Disney. Coastal Connections welcomes keynote speaker and educator Chip Baker. He's a motivational speaker with the message to dream.
Hey guys, everybody, welcome to Coastal Connection. We got Chip Baker on. What's up, Mike G? Hey, so today we're on talking about, just the challenges in education. We're also talking about motivation. We're also talking about asking Chip, where does he see the world going and how we need to motivate the next generation to be the best version of themselves in the 21st century. So, Chip, welcome to the show, my brother.
Hey, what's going on? Thank you guys so much for having me. I truly appreciate it. I've been looking forward to it.
We're loving it, man. We're loving it. Hey, so, you're a motivational speaker. You're a keynote. And I watched your videos. You get out, you talk to the youth out there. So really, before we get started, kind of give everybody a background of what you're doing now and, and a little bit about your journey and where you're at. And then, then we'll get into the questions on where we need to go as far as, touching on Black History Month, talking about just some different things in education that are important and how we motivate the next generation.
Sure. So, myself, Chip Baker, I'm a fourth generation educator, teacher, former coach. I'm in my 23rd year of education, coached for 20 years, coached football and powerlifting. So that's been a great journey. Man, I've been blessed and fortunate to be raised by some great people, as well as be around some awesome folks to learn from in my career. Right. Some people that just looked out for me, took care of me, even when I didn't know I needed to be taken care of, And so that's been a true blessing. And so now, currently, I'm the climate and culture coach at Oak Ridge High School in Conroe ISD here in Texas. It's north of Houston. And it's been neat. I'm in the give back phase of my life. So all things that I've taken and learned from, now I'm just striving to give those back in an amazing way. So just an ordinary dude trying to achieve some extraordinary things, and that's totally what it's about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, so you're the culture, our school just stood that up this year. So how long have you been the culture person at your school? Because it's become the new normal in most of the schools to have a cultural person to be able to discuss diversity issues. Because I run the Thurgood Marshall program. I'm the sponsor for Thurgood Marshall at my school. So kind of give everybody a little background that they don't understand what the cultural leader is for a school.
Yeah. And so my title is climate and culture coach and, / behavior, specialist is the official title with that. But, what I do is I just take, all things taking care of students, all things taking care of teachers, bridging the community and school gap, assessing our needs, and then finding a way to just make it better and get it done, period. Like there's no excuses, we don't pour no excuses. Let's find a way to get it done. And it's been really cool. And really, when you think about it, it's all based off of relationships, building those quality relationships. And I'll share this quote with you. And I use this quote. This is in my second book. The first quote from one of my former pastors says, "Our life moves at the speed of our relationships."
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so you think about, those people that are doing great things, that have awesome opportunities, like I've been blessed to have, that's doing great stuff. They have great relationships. And, those that aren't, they probably need better relationships. And so I'm truly grateful to have some awesome relationships, truly grateful to have some people that believe in me, that think enough of me to put me around kids and around people and say, hey, do your thing, man. Let's make it better.
Question, Chip. Welcome to the show, man. What do you find challenging about what you do? Like, what do you think, man, this, all right, here we go. You got to take that breath. What do you find challenging with your goals and your dedication of what you do?
Mike G. Man, I just want to say that, my Mike G. I've been waiting to say that, my man.
Thank you.
Man, what's challenging is, man, I don't know how to clone myself. Like, it's not enough of me. It's not enough time, to do all of the things that I want to do and give. And I think that for me, that's the challenge, is to just, you think about it, man. We will never get this moment of this day back ever again. and I'm an in the moment dude, right? So like if in anything I do, I understand that, and I strive to take advantage of every opportunity in every moment, because moments make memories. Come on, right? And so it's important to be in the moment. And to answer your question, it's just, you can't get enough of positivity and goodness to strive to give in the world. And for me, man, I just wish there was more of it. I wish I could do more. And that's the frustration. But there is no regrets, because every day I know, man, I'm giving you everything I got. Like, I'm leaving the tank like empty, Jack. I don't have no problem sleeping.
I love it.
You know, I'm giving you everything I got every moment of every day, and you can count on that. You know.
Hey, so Chip, I want to find out kind of what is your background. So, like, are you born and raised Texas, or like, what were some of the struggles that you saw as a youth that kind of impressed you now as an educator? Because we all look back at our past, and the struggle is real at times. And then now that you're sitting in that position, how are you kind of making a difference and saying, "Hey guys, man, hey, I've already walked this path, and let me trust me, it don't have a good outcome. So let's go a different route." So go ahead, brother.
Yeah, when you say it's real out there, I said it's real. When you say it twice, it's for real, right? It's real.
Absolutely.
But for me, some of the things as far as my background, and I'll just share this. I'm glad you asked that too, because it's what drives me every day. And so I grew up in a house of single parent mother. Our parents separated when I was 5. And, and I want to make sure that I say this too. Like, a lot of times you say parents separated, deadbeat dad. No, my dad was a good guy. We were just in different towns, but not having, the father in the house, seeing your mom struggle, doing, multiple 3-4 jobs, all of those things. But in that, watching my mother, my superhero, still give. Like, she is, like I said, a teacher coming home exhausted every day.
Yeah.
I
can agree. I could relate. And my mother was a hardworking mother too. Since all the way till she's retired, man. She owned a salon, National Guard, and worked for corporate. 3 jobs. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that builds a backbone on us, seeing that, and then builds character. And this is why I think the community lacks. It's like the parents don't try hard enough. Now, I'm not saying all parents are bad, but we got to try. We got to push these kids to these kids, adults, young people, and everybody like that. It's crazy. Like you say, you have blessings. I have blessings too. I'm a blessed person as well. And I wish everybody was equal, but it's not reality. But I agree with you on that. Just come from the background, and it motivates us as individuals, because we're all wired different. But that's interesting.
And fast forward, I people can say, oh, you can use it as excuses. Oh, poor me. This is how I do it. No, bro. Hey, so I've used that as my motivation, and that's what drives me now. So every kid that I'm around, every moment of every day, I don't want them to feel any of that pain that I've had to grow through.
Yeah.
My son, his father will be in his life. Hands on, without a doubt. Those kind of things. And so that's what drives me from my background. And so, along that journey, I've seen some things that, been around some great people, seen some great folks, seen some bad things too.
Yeah, for real. That's the thing. Yeah, it weighs. It's the way of life, It's the yin and the yang. But sometimes some people see bad things and it just changes them, instead of taking and learning from it and moving it. And some people like to repeat the mistakes over and over again. I'm not knocking nobody at all, but it's just that I don't get it. If you didn't learn from them, why are you going to do it again?
That part.
And that's what our system is. It's like, when the young kids get locked up, that one lock up should be your only one, bro, or none at all. But they go back because they think that fast life and that crazy thought, that stuff is gonna take them to where they need to be. Fast money is no money, baby.
Hey, and all money ain't good money.
That's right.
That's true.
Hey,
dirty money.
Hey, man. And so, like, I think too, I'm glad that you said those things too, Mike G, man. I spoke to a group of kids actually this week that were in DAP alternative school. Like, I went to a school to speak. I spoke to a large group, and then where I had my setup and my stuff, the DAP teacher had her kid like close. She's like, hey, do you mind coming to talk to her? I was like, yes, let's go get it. So we went in this, private off room where it's like me and like, 8, 9 kids. And then, I can really give it to them now, right? And so, the first thing I tell them is, where you are right now is not your final destination. None of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. I'll be the first to tell you, like, I'm not perfect. We all make mistakes, but like you said, Mike G, don't do the same thing twice. You have to live and learn. And that's the beauty of life. In life, we have to live and learn and look at yourself and say, like Michael Jackson, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Like, man, I'm asking him to change his ways. Like, Chip, man, that was good. I'm proud of that. I can also say, man, what are you doing? You tripping. Like, come on, man, don't do that, Chip. You have to look at yourself and adjust. And then now, you look back on it and say, hey, I'm proud that I made those choices to not put myself around those type of people or make good choices, because the choices you make affects everybody around you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, good choices, bring fruit to the table if you bear good fruit, And I always wonder if the choices that we have right now that students are making, social media has become such a big beast. So, Chip, so when you're giving your message out there, how do you attack the social media frenzy that we have, and it's impacting so many students' lives?
I think for me, and I'm gonna go back in the day. Hey, baby, don't put your business in the street. Like my mom, baby, don't be all out there like that, baby. The talk, right? But and like some things have changed in our life, but like the core common principles, like that stuff never goes out of style. Be respectful, carry yourself in the right way, treat people right. Don't put your business out in the street.
Right.
Don't do anything that, that'll come back on you that regret. Don't burn bridges, all of those things. Like, it don't matter. Technology, like none of that stuff goes out of style. And so what you have to do is again, like I said earlier, you have to be in the moment and understand that each moment is valuable. All right. And so in those moments, you want to be able to look back on those moments and be proud of those moments and not have regrets of those moments. And so if you can have that awareness to be intentional, oh man, that's life changing. That's when now every step that you take, it's on purpose. It's about business, right? It's focused. And then also you're not letting anybody mess that up either, right? Like, I don't know what y'all doing, but I know what I'm doing. So if you're not doing this, then get out the way. I'm gonna run over you. Like I'm about this business.
Oh, absolutely. So, you talk to a lot of sports teams, and I saw Mike had it up a minute ago, a couple videos. There was one video you posted on Twitter recently, and you talking to this football team, getting them hyped up, getting them motivated. So how often are you just called out and say, hey, Chip, we need you to come down and get us motivated? So, yeah, I mean, you're a killer. Mike can get a chance to pull one up, but you are a rock star when it comes to bringing motivation, brother.
Thank you so much, man. I truly appreciate that. I'm grateful. I don't know, man. It still blows me away that like people actually like you. Like, I'm just a small town guy. Small town in Texas. A lot of the things that I'm blessed to do right now, like I didn't even know anybody that was doing that when I was growing up, right? So it's all a learning lesson. It's all it's all getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? I have to stretch myself and do all of those things. And so it still blows me away. Like, for example, when y'all introduce, like, I'm like, man, who is that guy there? Oh, wait, that's me. It's crazy. Like I'm speaking at schools, like, and they're actually listening and applying it. Oh man, that's crazy. Books, like they're writing books. Oh, man, that's me. Oh, let's go. So it still blows me away, and I'm truly grateful for it. And yes, I'm getting lots of opportunities to do those things. And my hope is that I'm moving in a manner and taking care of business in a manner that I make my family and the people that love me proud. And I hope that the kids can take, something from what I've been blessed to grow through in my life, not go through, what I've been blessed to grow through in my life, and use that and apply that in their life. So it's been great.
All right, that's like you're on point on that.
Yes,
So who really motivated you? So everybody goes through life's challenges, and we are motivated by different people. Like my mom is a key element in my life. I had an Uncle Cowboy. Even though the short time he was in my life, Uncle Cowboy was a hot mess, but he was a key role model in my life. My Uncle Paul was a key role model in my life, and the knowledge that you dropped on me as a young man was just it was, even though it was common sense stuff, it really today is so part of my moral character because of those. So like, who was that few people in your life that influenced you?
Well, the one I kind of talked about her already, and the one that really comes up is my mother. I tell people all the time I was raised with a superhero in my house, and so superheroes do superhero things, and so I was blessed to just be able to watch how she operated, how she maneuvered, how, like I said, how she treated people. And then I was also able to watch how it came back to her because she gave so much.
Right.
People just I'm telling you, like we would be in our town and like at the grocery store, and I would see people see her, but she not see them, and they smile.
That's good stuff. Like, that's good stuff.
Yeah, like or like people be, we walking somewhere and people not using the right language that they're supposed to be using, and they see her and they apologize. Like grown people.
Sugar.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, but and so like that, man, that made an impression upon me. If I could I saw the feeling that it gave to people, and I felt that, man, if I could just operate any like that, then I'd be all right. And then even further down the line, and this is the good part right here, because I had an opportunity to go back to my hometown and be head coach, athletic director for a couple of years.
Wow.
And because of what my family had given, I'm a fourth generation educator. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Yeah. But go ahead, man. Y'all smart people.
yeah, good folk with no S. That's a down south thing. It's for real. You don't put an S on it, but and it's plural. But man, I don't know, just watching how people gave it back to her. But then when I went back, people loved me in a major way. And I'm going to tell you, I don't think it's because Chip Baker is great. I think it's because of what my mother and my family had invested in others in those families around, that they love me. And I'm gonna just tell you this, man. I got to share this story. This is a good story right here.
That's why you're here, man.
And so I'm like my first week on the job, head coach, athletic director in my hometown, right? I'm truly grateful for the opportunity, because there's nothing better than the place where you put in work, where you gave everything you have, for those people to think enough of you to invite you back to be the head coach, right? So, man, it was amazing for me. And my first weekend, I get this call. I'm in my office. I get this call from this guy. He calls me at the school. He was like, hey, I won't say his name, but hey, man, your mom was my teacher, and I love that lady, right? Like straight up, like I love that lady, man. I'd do anything for her. She was such a difference maker in my life. And I was young, like when she taught him, like I was a young cat. So I didn't even remember who the guy was, and I was like, oh man, thank you. That's cool. I appreciate you taking time to call. He's like, man, you don't understand, man. Like I loved your mother. And so like we used to go fish, me and my boys, because we have a river that's close to where we are. We used to go fish all the time, and I would always bring her fish. fresh catfish, right?
I was gonna say, was it catfish or was
Yeah,
it bass? Or
Yeah. And I was like, man, that's awesome, man. That's cool. And he was like, hey, I'm gonna give you my cell number and you text me, and when I go fish, I'm gonna bring you some fish, man. So, I didn't really think anything of it. So like a month and a half goes by, and I get this call on my phone, right? And I didn't have a guy, I didn't lock it in. So I answered, and I'm like, hey, he's like, hey, coach, this so-and-so, man, I got some fish for you.
oh,
Right?
too sweet.
Yeah. Like he was free. He was a man about his word. He told me what to do, the benefit from my mom, but it gets deeper than that. So he was like I said, small town, rural town. So he's like, hey, I'm gonna shoot you my address. Come on out here and you can get the fish. So I'm like, okay, bring your son. And like my son at that time was like in the 3rd or 4th grade. So we go out there, man. We on the highway, small highway, right? The directions say this little dirt road. I'm gonna take you back. The little dirt road, the 3rd tree with the broke down red car.
I love it.
So we're on this dirt road and we get to his house, right? So we pull up, kind of farm area, and we pull up, and he walks out to greet us. He's like, hey man, it's good to see you. I got some fish. Come on back here. You can pick out what you want. So he got these like 3-4 big old igloo coolers, like full of fish, right?
Love it.
So he's like, man, I got this bucket right here. Pick out what you want. I'll get it and I'll clean it for you and every fillet it for you right here. I'm like, man, this is crazy, right? And so me and my son is like, he had never seen it because my son, where I live now is like a suburb. Right?
So, you doing a suburb life?
Yeah. So my son was born, and at that time he had been raised to a suburb, so he had never seen any of that, right? And so he was all big-eyed, enjoying it, right? I'm loving this. He pumped, and so we get the fish, and we take it over, and he takes time. He's like, "Hey, coach, just relax over here, man. I'm gonna take your son, and I'm gonna show him all this." So I'm sitting here watching this guy that my mother had poured into love on my son because my mom had poured into him.
Oh, dude, that's priceless. That's priceless.
And I'm telling you, like he cleaned the fish, showed my son, taught him how to do it, stuck it, like filleted it and everything. And my son was able to just watch all that. But I tell that story because of this. And I said it it's important to be in the moment. It's important to get over yourself and give, right? Because it's not about you. And when you do that, not only do you receive that, not only do people get better around you, not only does the atmosphere around you become contagious and infectious, but later on in the life, the people that you love receive the benefits of that.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. I agree with you. My big mama was that kind of person.
Yeah.
8th grade education, man, maybe 6th grade, but I'm going to tell you, everybody knew who Bertha White was.
Big mama.
Mama.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. So you have how many kids do you have, and what are you trying to pass on as we get ready to wind down here? Okay, 2 questions before we get out here. And Mike's going to have one too. So my first one is, what impact do you want to leave on society? And then the second one is, what are you passing on to your kids? Because they're not the same thing. And I tell my daughter that all the time, is that what I'm trying to pass on to you is to be fruitful, be a go-getter, be your own person, so I never have to worry about you. She thinks I'm a hard dad, right? Because I'm very hard on her, but the reason why is because I just want her to be, when I'm gone, that I know she is okay.
Man, that's some good questions right there, Bugsy. Mike G hit me. No, man, the first one, I just hope that as far as the impact that I want to leave, there's 2 things. I just hope that, I pretty much know this, but I'm going to say this. I hope that people can say, first off, man, that dude was consistent. Right? What you're going to get from Chip Baker.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Right. And so I want it to be no doubt, there's no doubt, like he's bringing his A game every moment. Every time I see him, he got a smile. Every time I see him, he is on it. right? He giving me everything he got, energy, right?
Love it.
And so that's one thing. But then the next component is if people could just say, man, he was a good dude.
Oh yeah.
Like man, he was solid. Like he was a good dude. You know, he stood for great things. He was a godly man. He treated people right. He did things the right way. He took care of business. He did things. He was a good dude.
Oh, so you're trying to make sure that when they do your eulogy, they don't have to struggle.
No, they hey, what I want them to do is I want them to struggle to try to find a place big enough for enough people to be able to come and have some fun. Come on. I want them to struggle. Like, man, where we gonna have this thing at? Like,
I love it.
Like, man, like it's so many people. I want my wife to have that problem. Like, I don't know.
That's a good problem to have.
Like, yeah, all of these people are calling me. I can't and email and sending me stuff. Like, we got flowers all outside the house. Like people coming by here taking pictures. Like I want them to have the struggle of that's the struggle that I want them to have.
Oh, I love that.
Right. And so, man, it's but just, you know, consistent and a good dude. And then what I want to leave for my son is, you know, I'm really an introverted guy, right? So like people that really know me, like, I mean, I could be in a situation and I say 5 or 10 words, right? But like people that see me with the Success Chronicles and speak and on an interview, you like, man, ain't no way, you know, bro, man, come on, an introvert, really? You know, come on. But my passion allows me to come alive. Like my passion allows me to get over myself because it ain't about me and just give it to you. You know what I'm saying? My passion allows me to get out of myself. And then like sometimes I probably watch this interview back and be like, man, who is that guy? Where did that come from? Like I say that all the time, like with my family, like, man, I don't know where that came from. That's awesome. You know, but
you bringing thunder, brother. You bringing thunder on a regular basis because I mean, Mike's taking it in because he has a son too. So you know, he's having to absorb it. I'm a guy with all girls, so I have a different problem.
Yeah.
If I have this son, man, I want to be straight. I'm not perfect. You're not being. Nobody's perfect, but I try to teach you, man. I don't have no questions, but you're doing a great job. You keep it up, man. Thank you very much. You're doing a good job, man. And it's good. It's a natural energy you have, and it's like you're not pushing it. You're not doing it for money or anything. Like you're just a natural energy, and it's dope. You know, it's cool.
Thank you, brother. I think too, man. With my son, I want to say this too. You know, as men, you know, we can say we won't, like we can do that all day long, right? But if my actions don't align with my beliefs, then they're void in his eyes.
Dude,
right?
I love that.
And I'm gonna say that again. If my actions don't align with my beliefs and or what I'm preaching to him, then all of that is void in his eyes. And so this was one thing that as a kid that I saw, you know, the difference with my parents was my mom was raised in the church, you know, like she did church people things. Like we go to church all the time.
Revival, yeah.
Yeah. You know, right. You know, my father, like he didn't do all of that at the time in his life. He didn't. Right. So that was the right.
Oh, I know.
And so I saw that as a kid. So for me, it's important as a father to not say, hey, son, go to church. You know, like, hey, bro, get dressed, get your butt up. We're going to church. You know, like those kind of things. So that's a difference between the two. So it's important. I need to show him that it's important to have those actions align with your beliefs. When I walk around, the way I treat people, you know, so he sees, yeah, you speak to people, you look them in the eye, you shake a person's hand with a firm handshake and look them in the eye and say, nice to meet you, right? And I'm telling you, like he's seen as a young kid, I taught him that young, and like people are blown away. Like they'll say, like, man, he shook my hand with a, yeah, he better.
Because I'm raising him that way.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. And so, like, those are the things that I want to pass on. Like, I want him to be able to, like, I can say, son, be this, do this, son. but I want him to be able to look at me and learn what it should be like I did with my mom.
Oh man, that's precious, man. That's precious. You know, hey Chip, we appreciate you coming on the show, dude. You bring thunder and fire. It was like the fastest 30 minutes I've ever seen in my life go by. Cause dude, you just break it when you break. Introvert, Mike. Introvert.
Go get it.
Okay. All right, but Chip, as we always say, man, and I appreciate you coming on, but I'm going to be talking to you anyway down the road anyway, because we are. But as me and Mike G always say, anybody that comes on our show, we always say, keep it
rolling.